Hey guys, so what we're gonna do today is we have this single gang Z-Wave outlet. We're gonna put in another Leviton Z-Wave outlet. And for those that don't know, the Z-Wave technology is just a way for you to, schedule and remotely turn on and off switches. It's like Wi-Fi, just this is kind of Z-Wave and Zigbee are for kind of more advanced smart home situations, but if you just want like a couple of smart switches, you probably don't need Z-Wave. But this is kind of what like the higher end and huge installations and whatnot. Like if you're serious about smart home, you'll do Z-Wave and Zigbee. If you just want a couple things, and that's kind of a Wi-Fi thing, or Bluetooth. So we have these two toothbrushes, and we don't want to always be toggling them every time we want to switch, because we have a diffuser here. And we want to schedule each of these to charge for 6 hours in the middle of the night when the hydro is cheap. So we're going to use this after work or old factory, I forget what it's called. It's just a retrofit fit box. Widen the hole by cutting here. If the post is here, or if the post is here, then we're going to cut here, and then just make it a dual gang. So let's get started. So for those that don't know how to remove a Lutron Claro screwless wall plate, just kind of get your fingernails or fingertips in there, and you just pull off. And these are the tabs that snap in here. So after you remove the switch, you're gonna have a metal or plastic box in here. And if you look close, there's gonna be some nails or screws on one of the ends, either going into a stud here or a stud here. What you're gonna do is just remove those, bang this thing out, and then it will fall down into the wall and, to never be seen again. I feel sorry for the metal box, but that's how it goes. And then proceed to cut with a drywall saw. Don't overdo the cut. It's always better to go smaller, because you can't make it smaller. You could always make it wider. So let's do that next. So I've gone and removed all of the little brackets at the back, so all of these cables are loose, and I couldn't really tell where the stud was here. I'll just show you two ways that you can do it. So you can knock compared to, I'll just say it's right here, but compared to, see how it's like more hollow, and then, right, so it's right there. Or you can use like a stud finder. So I start, right there. So to bang out this box, I'm going to use a steel chisel and a Milwaukee framing hammer. Shelves beside, just make sure you take the stuff off. Colton thought it was a good idea to weigh the heavy stuff down with something heavier. So this was his idea. I think it was a great one. So now that the box is dismounted from the 2x4 here, because this is an external wall, like on the other end of this wall is the brick in the house, there's tons of insulation here, so it won't really drop. So what I'm gonna have to do is, because the stud is here, the 2x4, so what I'm gonna do is just cut here for the new old work box and be able to pull it out. I assume it's a lot more work to get this done if you're going from a 2-gang to a single gang, but since we're going from a single to a double, making the hole wider is easy, because once you get the nails out, let me see if I can do this one-handed. It's out, and now we can just start putting these guys. And you're using these old work boxes. You obviously got to make sure that this part here goes in the wall, and this gets behind there so it can flap up when you tighten it down to put it snug to the wall. There's one underneath here. That thing right there. Yeah, right there. And then this one up top, right? But you don't necessarily want it, right now it's super snug, so, but you don't want to go too loose because then things are slipping around. So you only get one chance to do it right. So just keep on chipping away very light and incrementally until you get that perfect snug fit without jamming. So once you have it in, you're going to want to screw this guy here, this guy down here, and just make sure that you're pressing it against the wall when you're doing it and it's nice and flush. Before you screw it in, make sure this and the bottom is level, and don't over tighten. If you feel like it's a little tight, but it's, you know, like it's not coming out, don't do it. The little plastic clip there, this guy, will break off and then it'll be loose and you just gotta yank it out. Not fun. So there you go. Nice and flush in there. This guy's good too. Not going anywhere, didn't over tighten. So outlets are pretty much the easiest thing to wire. You have your black or hot wires, and then on the other side your neutral. You just slide the two wires in there, tighten down the screw, and same on that side. Now, because we're putting another switch here, how do we do that, right? So we can assume that this one will just daisy chain off. Like, that's the thing with outlets. They always daisy chain to each other, right? They're like an extension cord in an extension cord. So how we would have to do this is, for the most part, there's a couple different ways. You could insert half of these into this, the other half into that, and then link these two. But I think what I'm gonna do is put these into this one and have ones coming out of here into the next one. So it's like a little brother of this one. Buddy. Okay, cool. Okay, it's pretty good. Good job, Colt. All right, so what I did was I got the cable coming out from here, going into this guy. Then I cut an extra one to go from here to here, and cut an extra black one to go from here to here. Then I have the black one going into here. So everything's connected. Now it doesn't matter which one is the top or the bottom, because all this thing is doing here is connecting these two. Likewise, it doesn't matter top or bottom. It just matters that everything is connected. These are all connected, and every port, the line and the neutrals are all connected. So super clean. Let's screw it in. Students don't have to do this because they do it all the time, but I like to, you know, take a small level and make some small adjustments to make sure that, you know, each one of these, because by the time you get the face plate on, you have to make some adjustments on this one. It's level. And there you have it, super clean look. I'll show you adding this new one to SmartThings. So the new one, this guy, I'm gonna put this into pairing mode. Okay. The other thing I forgot to mention is we have wax burners with the control outlet at the top for all of the different bathrooms. So from one button, we could say, you know, turn on the incense in all the bathrooms. Say we just cleaned all the bathrooms, we're having guests come over and we just want to put on something for, you know, half an hour or whatnot. Do it from one button. So we'll test if that one still works. yep, so it did turn on. So that's just how to add a Z-Wave outlet or any outlet with an old factory box. I got a little bit of patchwork to do there, but very clean, very easy. Anyone can do it, tons of fun. Hope you enjoyed.